Hello everyone. So this is an upsetting topic to talk about, but we do need to just look at it, particularly. And again, I've been saying it to Minister Mary Butler for the last God knows how many. She became minister. Was literally given out to her many stages to try and do something, particularly in Cavan with CAMS, to try and do something, at least do something again instead of sitting there and doing nothing. As you know, Cavan it's very understaffed CAMS and Cavan. Again, the people that are there, they're doing their best with what they have, which is very, very little to work with. They're doing their best, but again, it's the service of CAMS and the way it's run by the HSE, because again, it's government funded, it's a HSE, it's belonged to the HSE, it's not like So Sad or Pay the House, they're voluntary organisations. And to a certain extent, So Sad and Cavan is doing a better job, and these are people that are giving up their own time voluntary in So Sad. They're doing a better job than CAMS, that's HSE funded, that is a government funded organisation, and has basically has more funding than they could ever if they wanted to put it to better use than giving it to the higher ups in the HSE, to Paul Weed and things like that. And unfortunately, the last 2 years there's been a huge amount of young suicides in County Cavan. And something truly there is no supports for a young person in modern day Ireland for mental health services. The waiting list in Cavan last time I checked, it's about 6 months for CAMS to be seen. To even be seen, this is without being referred to CAMS, it's 6 months in County Cavan to even be seen by them. And they don't work on the weekends, they don't work by holidays. This is the thing. So Sad works on the Saturday and everything. And these are voluntary people giving up their own time. And people who donate to them, to So Sad. And I do encourage people in Cavan to donate a few bob to them, because they are doing the tremendous work. I had to go to So Sad at some occasions to talk about things. And I was involved with CAMS when I was younger too, when I was going through tough times. And they did their best. I would say that the people that were there on CAMS, they did their best. But the way they were going around and the way they were doing things is kind of out of date. I'll be totally honest, it's not modern. And the way that it kind of took a long time before they even came to me. Let's be honest, it took a long time. It took about 3 weeks before they came to see me. But I was a very, very serious case. It was classified as a very serious case that needed to be dealt with. That needed to be seen to, in other words. And that's the only reason why it took only 3 weeks. It would have took months to even be referred to, but only for that I needed to be seen to. It wasn't that it was an emergency kind of case. But this is the thing, unfortunately, another sad story to talk about today, and it's very prevalent in this country nowadays. It's so tragic that so many young people lose their lives to suicide. And so Sinead O'Connor, a famous singer, you would have heard of her. Her son committed suicide, and he's only 17. And again, it's tragic. And as far as I can see, he was under the care of CAMS, and he was in the hospital. It was under the care of CAMS. As far as I can tell, hopefully I'm right there. But as far as I can tell, that he was under the care of CAMS, and under the care of the Irish state. As far as I can see, and I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm wrong, apology. Hopefully I'm not that wrong, but that's as far as I can gather. Maybe I'm missing a few things here. But that's as far as I can gather. But again, I see many people on social media here saying about times that were before the CAMS. And again, I can relate to that. That they're not the best. CAMS are not the best. So Sad and Pay the House and things like that, they're doing better than CAMS. And this is the point I'm wasting, that these are HSE funded. 2018 Cavan County Council went to the HSE, and they voted obviously the council chamber to go and ask for more funding and things like that. We were given something like 500,000 or something, like nearly 400,000. But the point is that the money was there. There was no problem asking for the money. But why wasn't the money not given? We shouldn't have to go and ask for the money to be given to CAMS for more staff, more gear, more equipment for different things. Again, this is the thing, and this is the glaring issue here with CAMS, that it's out of date. It really truly is out of date, and it needs to be looked at in the modern sense, because I don't know. Like again, there needs to be a committee where they walk these committees. They're useless to be done, and nothing ever comes out of them. But there needs to be a better focus. And I do suggest that CAMS should be replaced. And be totally honest, I think Pay the House should get government funded. Or the same with So Sad. I think So Sad would be better than CAMS in County Cavan, for example. I think if So Sad was HSE funded, because again the work, it's a good establishment in County Cavan here we have. It So Sad, and that they're very organised, they know what they're doing. And I think if they got HSE funding instead of CAMS, because I don't think CAMS is better, because again 6 months to be seen to, just to be seen, not to even be referred to anything or X, Y, and Z, to be seen again. It's desperate. Like, let's be honest, that's desperate. That's truly desperate. Again, especially with your mental health, you need to be seen to. That needs to. You can't wait. Let's be honest, you can't wait. I know myself. The mind can make you and destroy you, and I know that your mind can really just take control of you, and your feelings and your emotions can really just eat you from the inside out. And again, that's is unfortunately it's far too late for many young people and things like that. And again, we need to look at the system. We truly do need to look, because every time we stand in here, and I even said it to Mary Butler, Minister Mary Butler, never get responses. I wanted to speak to her. I asked many times. I've asked TDs to go and ask her, can I speak to her, and have her basically brought to me and said, what's she doing in County Cavan? As I even said many times over the last 2 years with the matter of suicide, young suicides, that needs to be something done. It really truly needs to be something done. There needs to be more supports. Because the supports that's in place, like again, as I say, so sad, doing a tremendous work, but it's CAMHS, the HSE, there should be resources that, again, as one person said, is there any supports for young people in this country from suffering from mental health crisis? Is there any supports? And again, that's the question. 6 months having to wait a waiting list for CAMHS. And it's so sad. Take for example, voluntary group. It's you basically nearly whenever you need them, they're there. You know, and again, this is the glaring issue. This is the glaring issue. So yeah, it was truly sad. It is truly sad. I really wish we took it serious. But again, years ago, it wasn't took serious. Mental health wasn't talked about. It wasn't talked about. It was like, just get up, get on with it, and that wasn't the way. That never helped anybody. That made things worse, to be totally honest with people. And it's so stressful again with the lockdowns and things like that. Has put a lot of stress more on anybody else in their mental health and X, Y, and Z. But I really do hope, please God, that we can find that some kind of reform will be done. Because again, maybe could we reform CAMHS, but again, there needs to be a lot of work done in the background. Again, in Cavan, just for example, there needs to be a lot more staff. They need to be open on the weekends. They shouldn't really work on Sundays and things like that, to be totally honest with you. Because the backlog is that severe. And they only work from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5. They don't work after that. It's not 24-hour service. It's just like you truly often wonder. We truly do need reform in this sector. Truly do. And again, it's a glaring issue that has been here for a long time, and I've been saying over the last 3 or 4 years, before even COVID came along, things that the system was completely broken. And the only reason why I was seen by CAMHS back years ago, because I was extremely bad. Beyond extremely bad. And I need to be referred to Cherry Orchard, and obviously they're the intensive care beds for people who have mental health issues, for young people, and and that's how bad it was, that they needed to do. Well, it didn't take 3 weeks actually. I'm sorry, it did take 3 weeks. It kind of was instantly. I'm taking something else, sorry. So it was very kind of instantly too to see me. That's because it was very severe, but it shouldn't have to been that. Again, many cases like this, it's just reform that needs to be done, and it's truly sad. It's truly sad to see all this. It's beyond tragic. It's truly beyond tragic. And the thing that we're a third world country, we were a first world country, that other countries have better mental health systems, and that we can't seem to manage and seem to figure it out, more or less. And it's really tragic, especially because we're in the modern age. Years ago we were in the dark ages and we didn't have a clue, or many people didn't care really about mental health or anything like that. We're just going to get up and get on with it. And now, the modern day, it's a huge preference and it needs to be talked about. It needs truly to be talked about. But anyway, let me know to take. It's tragedy. It's truly tragic. It's honestly tragic. And especially, Mary Butler is not much addition. And I'll be totally honest, the Minister of the Mental Health Resources, not much addition. I'll be totally honest with you. She could be doing her best. I'm assuming she probably is doing her best with what she has and what she can do. But it needs to be looked at more severely, and it needs to be basically looked at right now, not next week, not next month, straight now. But yeah, that's just my advice. If Mary Butler's here or watching this, maybe, possibly. She never responded to me. She never cared to respond. But yeah, take care, everybody.